Hi everyone, welcome to this next video in this series from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Johanna Basford. We're using Polychromos pencils. I'm just working our way around this border on this pretty page. Now I did explain at the beginning, just in case you've forgotten or you didn't catch the first few videos, that this page here is in next year's planner. So I thought I would make a start on this page now because I just wanted to do a video with little bits, and then I won't do this page on video because I will save it and do it in the planner version instead, rather than doing it twice in really reasonably close succession. Might be a little bit tricky for me to think of something a little bit new and different. We've got this little ship in a bottle today, which is so cute. Now I've done a ship in a bottle before with a sunset type background. Excuse my voice, I'm sorry, I had a bit of a cold. It's not been anything too nasty really, but it's just hanging around and making it, I sound much worse than I am. I'm going to do the sea first while I think about the sky therefore, because, you know, having said, you know, I've done a sunset for you before in a bottle. I'm going to use the cobalt turquoise for the bottom of the waves. So just trying to think, what could we do that's a little bit different? I'm just going to do a little bit at the bottom of each and along where they're overlapping. So I'm not really sure what to do. And we've also got the sort of background around the bottle as well to think about. These backgrounds I've done already are quite dark. I thought they might help the items to pop out, but I don't know if they do really. I don't know if they draw your eye away from the items. It's always a little hard to know with a background quite which way to go. If you do something gentle, then if you've got a striking item it will stand out. But I'm going to use the cobalt green next. It's actually the same colours we did for the background in our fish spoon picture. Hopefully it won't look exactly the same. So here is the cobalt green. I was struggling to get you to see. There we go. Ah, I've got my light on. If I put my light on, it'll catch the light with the metallic paint on the pencil. Here we go. I've had a couple of days without recording actually, not because I've been ill or anything. As I say, it hasn't been that bad. I did a COVID test because someone suggested I should because it's going around, but I really didn't think it was, and it isn't. I sort of said, oh, I know what COVID feels like. I've had it a couple of times. And people are like, oh, you might not know. I think I do. Light cobalt turquoise, you know, I felt very ill with COVID, whereas this I really didn't. It's just a bit inconvenient with a tickly throat. This isn't going down as nicely as I'd hoped. I'm just going to cover it all with this, and then I'm going to go back in because it's like a line. It's not. I haven't blended it very well. I'm just going to go back and make it look a bit better. Yeah, it's just been a bit of a sore throat and a blocked nose, and I'm going to sneeze, I think, in a minute. I don't want to though. Yeah, I'm going to grab the cobalt green and hold on to that sneeze and just try and blend a little bit into that top bit. You may have done yours a bit better and not need to do this bit. Excuse me, I'll be even more sniffy than usual now. I'm just going to blow my nose actually while I think about this background. I don't know what to do. I try and think of what happens with a ship in a bottle, but normally there's no background because it's a bottle and you sort of see through it. But that's even harder than putting in some sky, I think. We could do some... Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this first. Let's do the ship after. Let's do some grey cloud in the background. I'm going to use the warm grey 3. This is not too grey, but just look a bit sort of stormy. So think about how the edges of your clouds are going to look, sort of fade off a bit. It won't be exactly circular. Do a bit here. Oh, that looks quite atmospheric, doesn't it? I think that's quite fun. Like a stormy sky like this. And the rest of the sky, doing a lighter grey, leave it white. I think I'll do a lighter grey. I could have done it with a bit of blue in between, which sometimes I like to do. This is warm grey one, but I think that it would make it look too bright and cheerful, and I want it to look stormy. I think it's just a fun way. So I'm just filling in all the gaps with this slightly lighter grey, so we haven't got just paper showing through. You could leave it as just paper, but it means that these shiny bits look white rather than, I mean the paper isn't white, but they look lighter than any of the sky. And this isn't blending because polys don't, and I think that looks good because you've got these clumpy bits of cloud. Oh, I like that. Right, now we have got this top bit, the neck and the glass bit of the bottle, and I'm thinking let's do the cork first and procrastinate thinking about the other bit in a minute. Let's do raw umber. So this is our cork here, look. I'll just put a bit of raw umber over it first, not too hard. Now I can't work out if this is a bit of cork or a bit of the bottle. I am going to have to stop. I'm going to sneeze. That was quite a comically loud sneeze. Now I need to decide whether this is the bottle. Now I would have thought this would have been the very top bit. So, but I don't know. I'm going to draw the cork just coming through there like that and just colour it in. I don't know if I think that needs to be a bit straighter. Like that. Because you would see a bit of the cork through the glass, but it will be slightly paler because you're looking through the glass. You don't have to do it like that. If you're not confident, just leave it. Now for the glassy bit, we want a lighter grey to try and make it look sort of shiny. I like the cold grey 3, it's quite good for glass. And all I'm going to do is do a little bit here and then a bit here and then bring it in to make a sort of paler bit there. Do the same here, go over the brown a bit and here. Look a bit glassy. Squint and imagine and use your imagination. Now our boat. It's a ship, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, I'd quite like it to stand out a bit from the picture. I'm thinking the bottom bit might be wooden. I'm going to do brown. I'm going to use my nice new nougat. And just, I haven't even sharpened this yet. It's lovely, nice long pencil. I actually bought this from my local art shop. I'm going to make it a little bit darker on this edge here. They are actually more expensive than coloured pencil dot shop, but I wanted them really quickly so I could just walk up the road and grab them. Oh, hang on. This is the dark sepia. I'm going to use it to draw some sort of lines on the boat like this to make it look a bit more like it's wood. I don't know whether it does or not, or whether it just looks like I've drawn some lines on the boat. But anyway, there we go. Yeah, I wanted them quickly. Now I want the little flags to be red, so nice and bright. Yeah, so I went down there. As I say, they're more expensive, even with, if I bought them from coloured pencil dot shop and paid postage, it would have been cheaper than just buying them from the shop. But as I say, I wanted them quickly. This is deep red, and although coloured pencil dot shop is a small independent business, it isn't local, so sometimes it's nice to support a local small independent business as well. And you know, I just happen to be walking near there and just I'm going to get them. Right, my sails, I usually like sails to be white, but I think we can add a bit of a dirty look to them. I think I did this with something the other day. I don't know if it was on video? I can't even remember. Where I made sails look a bit dirty. No, don't do it again anyway. Green gold. And what I'm going to do is just on the corners and edges, just to add a little bit of this. This might not be quite the best colour actually. I'm trying to remember what it was I was doing the other day when I did a bit. It might have been in this book. It might not have been on video. Never mind. That is not the right colour. Now I'm going to use my nice new brown ochre instead. I'm going to go on top of that. This needs sharpening now. I'm going to need it to be sharp. I'm just going to go on top of that. It's a little bit too bright, I think, because I wanted it to look like it was slightly sort of worn and old. It needs to be a little bit dirtier looking. If that makes sense. And just go over what I did a bit. And I'm just going to take the ivory. It's rare for me to use this, but I have used it. It's not a huge pencil. And I'm going to sort of go over it a bit and go slightly more towards the middle with this one. There we go. Okay, now background. Well, we could do a sort of sunset background behind our bottle. It would be very different to what we've done for the others. I'm sort of running out of ideas because we've done like the fade circle, the diagonal, the straight. We could do... Yeah, let's do it. Where should we start? Yeah, red at the bottom. Here we go, deep scarlet red. Let's go for it. So, start at the bottom. This is going to be our darkest layer of red. So you can overlay it a bit and then just fade it as you go up. This isn't particularly sharp red. Now, I want them to be... Now this line here isn't straight. This one is, so I'm going to line my line roughly with that. So I'm just going to sort of do it up to there, just fade it up a little bit more, like that. Okay, we don't have to be too fussy. Oh, I'm just going to move my pencils up. It's going to get in my way. Now I want a sort of more orangey pencil, so I'm going to go for the light cadmium red. And go over all of it. Now if you don't want to do this background like this, you could just do, I think, a red one excuse me, a red one in the style that we've been doing already would work. You could do it so that it's darker top and bottom and lighter across the middle. But I don't know why, I just wanted to do something. Because I've been talking about sunset in the bottle, I just felt like I should show you. I do have quite a few sort of sunset type background videos with various different pencils. Right, we're sort of going to stop there, but I'm just going to make sure I've gone right up to the edge of the leaves and things like that. Because if you don't, when you come to colour those leaves, you notice there's a little gap. You've got to try and remember what colour you were using. Now, it's not so bad if you're just using one colour, because you can potentially remember. You're using multiple colours like we are. Remembering which one you use. I just realised that my terracotta is amongst my oranges, and my orange glaze, which was my next colour, was in my terracotta space. Right, so over the top again of everything, like this. I'm trying to do this direction, but when you're going around these little pieces, it becomes a little bit more tricky. Do the best you can, like that. Because we keep going over and over, it starts to cover over the white of the paper that's sort of showing. Now we need to remember to do a bit over here in a minute. I'm just going to do this side and work out how far up I'm going to go with this one. Nice and easy here. We've got a little teeny area. Try not to go over the vine if you can, but if you do, it's not the end of the world. Or the bottle. We don't really want orange glass, although obviously we would see this through. We're going to not, to keep it simpler. That's sort of up here really, isn't it? Like that. Now I'm thinking this one. This is the dark chrome yellow. And we'll just again go right over the top. You don't have to keep going all the way back over the top of the bits at the bottom. I just can see that there's spaces and gaps, and I feel that it seems to all blend together better. Because polychromos don't truly blend, they layer. And so you can't smush them around and together like you can with a Prismacolor, but you can still get the look of colours flowing into each other as long as you keep overlapping them and layering them up. It takes practice, because I feel personally that polychromos are probably a little bit harder to master than Prismas, but because I started with Prismas, this is dark cadmium yellow. Well, I actually started with Staedtler Ergosofts, but same techniques, same sort of type of pencil. Because I started with those, I find it easier because I know how. This is how I was always taught to do it. Well, how I learned to do it. I'm trying to think whose techniques I learned. I think Emily Illustrator is using polychromos, maybe, sort of, yeah. But a lot of videos when I first started were all Prismacolor, and they were just too expensive for me to justify buying, because they were more expensive than polychromos, I think. And I could buy open stock polychromos in my local art shop, like I did the other day. We had another one that actually the other one didn't used to sell them. Yeah, so you used to could buy a few and try them out rather than having to. This is light chrome yellow, it's our last colour. Rather than having to commit to buying a full set, which is obviously a huge investment. And so yeah, and I saw someone's picture that they'd done with polychromos, and it was so super, and I thought, wow, if I get some polychromos, I'll be as good as them. No, I'm still not as good as them, but it taught me a lesson that we aren't only as good as our art materials, we're only as good as how much practice we've had. The more we practice, the better we become. Even with less good art materials, you can still become very good. And I have seen some very, very good pictures done with the most budget art materials. But here we go. Here is our bottle. Now, if you want to, you can do a few white finishing touches. What I might do if I was going to do white, which I'm not because I haven't done any white on this page. And you know what I'm like, I'm a bit funny. I'm like, if I'm not doing white, I'm not going to do any white. So around these two teardrop marks here, I would white out that black. And you could put a shine across the top of the bottle, and you could put some white on the sea. But I'm going to leave it because I haven't done white on the others, as I say, and I'm going to feel awkward if I just do it on one. But I'm going to finish there for today. So thank you for watching. I hope that was okay. I had a lot of fun with that one. It's such a cute picture. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a super day and happy colouring.